Hello everyone, and welcome back to Slay the Spire 2. Today we're playing Ironclad on the Ascension 1, trying to climb a little bit, and yeah, off the bat we go for the transform and we get a Cascade. So what I initially planned was getting a Cascade build, but as we'll see in just about a moment, I actually got offered something different, and the build went sideways pretty much immediately. But we do get a win, so in the end it all works out. And it just goes to show that on Ironclad, as long as you're building aggressive, you should be fine on the lower ascensions. So yeah. We get Rampage here, and I did like the Rampage in the first Slay the Spire games. So we got off Rampage, I grabbed it. We also got an opportunity to add attack to it, which in hindsight was a mistake, simply because momentum would have worked much better, but we've taken an enchant slot here already, so yeah. Some minor mistakes here and there still being made. I do play quick, so I should have bashed before I used the Rampage, but in the end, it didn't exactly matter, so all good. I was briefly considering Rupture there for some self-harm build, but I figured, well, let's stick to one thing, that thing being the Rampage, and try to make it work. All we really need for a good Rampage deck is card removal, just so we get to pick a Rampage over and over and again, and of course some card draw, again for the same reason, to get to see the Rampage a whole lot more than we usually would. But the start was looking promising. We did get Shrug It Off, which is both a very good defensive card and also a card draw, but we didn't get much further than that. And yeah, it's low ascension, so I'm pursuing the elites quite aggressively. I mean, I probably could have avoided this one, but I just wanted to. So yeah, but here Cascade actually does some heavy lifting early on. It doesn't really work with the whirlwind, and we'll see that we run into this issue a couple of times. But still, when your hand is not that great, you might as well roll the dice and see what else you can get. And here, I mean, we deal with the what's this? I don't know, what's the fish thing, quite easily. Yeah, Battle Trance obviously plays very well into our idea with the Rampage. I did briefly consider going for the rest side, but I had some different ideas, so that's what we went for. We did get Anger as well, which I kind of regretted and kind of not regretted at the same time. There were some, draws that I would have loved to see more than the Anger at times, but then again, it's extra damage, it's free damage, and early on, again on the Ironclad, I cannot really say no to that, because we got our draw, right? We got our Rampage going, and there we go. It pretty much one-shot the Tadpole there. Exhausts were also a consideration, but I quickly dismissed that, and here I was very happy that I have Whirlwind, which we unfortunately do not pull at the beginning, but at the very least Cascade didn't grab it either, so we'll see it in a second. And this is now a matter of just calculating how much more damage we can deal with our regular strikes, because you have to remember, Whirlwind only deals 5 damage unupgraded per attack, and your basic strikes deal 6 damage. So if you get to play a strike and a whirlwind, then it's better to play both rather than spending all the mana on the whirlwind alone, just for that extra damage, which might or might not make difference. Yeah, here the Rampage starts stacking damage, so we're kind of happy to see that. Again, we fished for the whirlwind, blocked, but then since Hydras have their own block, I figured it's better to just use strikes here. And here we get a handful of angers, which is good to get one target, but I don't think we can get both. Yeah, unfortunately. Luckily for us, this Hydra was buffing, so all good. I was hoping to find some hard-hitting card here, and we got it. We're offered once again a Rupture. Unrelenting was also an interesting choice, but we don't really have any expensive attacks besides Bash, so, you know, wasn't really into that idea. And here, I mean, really, the gameplay loop for the Ironclad and the other Ascensions is just so simple. You just attack. If you can defend, do defend, but if not, just attack and you'll be mostly fine. Another Rampage comes up, but Rampages do not buff one another, unlike Claws, and there are some other cards I cannot remember now. So having multiple of them isn't exactly, I wouldn't say good. You can obviously do that, especially if you have some good draw, but really there is not much point in that. Yeah, Cascade doing the bash was actually very good for us here. Instead of pulling it on this turn and costing 2 mana or 2 energy, we just got it right off the top of the deck with the Cascade. Got some relics, nothing too crazy. Pact's End is an interesting card, but we don't really exhaust anything. I had to double check. But I did pick up Stomp, just for some extra AoE. We cannot always, go for the whirlwind. It does consume all of your mana, and Stomp becomes cheaper to play, and it has some potential with the Cascade, because if you have Stomp in your hand, you can, and it's not free, you can do the Cascade, hopefully get 1 or 2 attacks, and suddenly the Stomp becomes much cheaper. Yeah, and here also, you can use the whirlwind even if you don't have mana or energy, and it will still reduce the Stomp's cost. So there's some synergy there as well. Like you've seen here, right here, the whirlwind didn't go off because we had no energy, but it counts as playing an attack, and playing an attack reduces the Stomp energy cost. So that was kind of good for us. Also, we've upgraded the Cascade for kind of similar reason, that being upgraded Cascade plays X+1 cards, meaning that even if you play it at 0 mana, you will still play 1 card off the top of your draw deck, which is overall good, unless it runs into, I don't know, curse or something, but then again you get to discard the curse, so overall just good. And here energy actually anger actually helps us to proc the bosses. Second phase, and we're done. Hellraiser was a interesting choice. I was hoping to see strikes, because with the Hellraiser strike, any card that contains strike, it's played automatically, but you better to have those strikes first before you pick up Hellraiser, because otherwise you'll just be playing your regular strikes, which isn't too bad, but I would say isn't worth 2 mana. And there you've seen that we've upgraded the... Sorry, not upgraded. We transformed a couple of cards, including Anger and Whirlwind, simply because with the Stomp, I figured we kind of have our AoE figured out, but also it competes with the Cascade for the energy, which isn't all that great. I mean, it's probably better to have Whirlwind in this case than Cascade, but I did want to play Cascade build, so here we are. And yeah, there's the Hellraiser just striking the enemy. You know, I felt comfortable picking it up, even if we didn't have the perfect strike, simply because we do have some card draw, because I was trying to build up for the Rampage. But also, I was still looking for pommel strikes to, you know, draw into my rampages sooner. So I figured, well, if I will have pommel strikes and I'll have Hellraiser active, I will be playing them for free and drawing into my rampage sooner, which, you know, sounds like a good idea, but again, you need to have those pommel strikes, otherwise it doesn't do much. We picked up Lucky Potion, which gives us buffer, which is great. Almost skipped on the Twin Strike, but then I remembered, hey, we're dealing with the strikes here. Team Master event, I would say an eventful, not really a good event in my opinion, but here we are. I was, debating what to do, but two relics is always kind of tempting. But here we got the relic that deals 6 damage to a random target, I believe, every 3 attacks we play, and we play a lot of attacks, especially with the Hellraiser. So that was kind of free 6 damage every other turn, if not every turn. So it was good overall. Fight me was a consideration, but I figured I need to focus on the target that is going down soon. Otherwise, I'm giving strength that I cannot get rid of. Here, Stomp is the correct play, simply because Stomp will attack everyone, so the frontliner goes down. We do take some damage, but again, we heal 6 every turn, so not every turn. Wow, that would be OP. No, every fight we heal 6, so we're okay. And again, we go for the elites, and we meet my least favorite elite in the game. And I immediately use potion because I know that this fight is going to use all of my resources. Now Stomp becomes incredibly important. We kind of want to get through this fight as quickly as possible. But we need our draws. Here I did consider, trying to get the frontliner down first. It's low already, and it would save me some damage. We are very light on the defenses, so any damage we can avoid is good. And we pretty much get it. We still take some damage, unfortunately, but the fight is over, and that's all that matters, really. We did get rewarded with some defensive options, and here I went for the Bludgeon. Was an obvious choice with the Cascade, simply because, if it's in the draw pile and we have Cascade, there are some good chances we will play it for free, and, free Bludgeon is quite good. Here we got to use it, for its full cost, since we had the D set, but that's not going to happen all that often. Stomp would have been nice here, but again, not enough mana. We didn't find our Cascade, and there it is now. First we draw, see what kind of damage we can deal, and then we Cascade and do some big damage. cleared a couple of minions. Isn't that important, but you know, it's not the end of the world. There you go, one strike plate, meaning both of our stumps are free. Bludgeon once again didn't get hit by the Cascade, but you know, it happens. Skip the weak potion, didn't really need it. We're quite happy with the potion selection we have now. Maybe the plating can go, but yeah, and here Mangle is just the best. Like completely negated the damage on that turn. On this turn, unfortunately, we have to use our regular blocks and hope for the best. Luckily, we did have some plating, but all of our damage is attacks. And here, I was very hopeful to find some, you know, cascades or rampage scaling, anything really, because I didn't want those dazes in the deck. Even though we picked up some card draw, it wasn't all that great. So you can see here that I'm avoiding using my attacks in the beginning, just so I can draw into the Hellraiser and maybe some, you know, heavier draws, because we're not going to have a good time. And here I actually should not have attacked. We grabbed even more dazes. Luckily, I was saved by the battle trance, but still, we get a downturn when the enemy is buffing. And now we probably are going to finish the fight, but not before we take a whole bunch more damage. Simply because Antimancer is really punishing for attack builds, and we are 100% an attack build. We got through though, so it was good. Setup Strike was a consideration here, simply for that one strength, but we could not really guarantee that it will play before other attack cards, so, you know, wasn't too exciting. We picked up Offering, which is an incredible card on the Ironclad. You know, it does damage you a little, but you are getting so much from it. You're getting energy and card draw, and it's free. And, you know, all the health you've lost, you are healing up, or at least 6 of it, so it's just a great choice. Cascade ran into a couple of good cards, Hellraiser specifically. And yeah, here we are going all in, not really caring about the our health, because we are going to use the buffer. Wow, Buffet. We're going to use buffer here. Regen Potion was a better choice early on, but I wasn't exactly sure if we are going to use it or not, so I figured I wouldn't. And then, yeah, we see what happened. Perfect Strike, I did see it, but it felt a little bit too late for it at this point. I mean, it's still a solid choice. We do have Hellraiser, but I don't know. Felt too slow at this point, and I was still trying to make the Rampage build going. We did grab Headbutt exactly for that reason. But as it turned out, I didn't really think about it at the time, but Headbutt does have some good synergy with the Mangle, simply because you can Mangle on one turn and guarantee that you will get it on the second turn as well. So if you know that the enemy is going to attack next turn, you know, you can combine those two, get some reduced strength on the enemy, save yourself some HP. And here, surprisingly quickly, on the turn 3, we almost get the left claw down already. Yeah. We do need to turn to the right. So, in case we don't, I figured I will use the Regen Potion. It will give us enough health to survive the hits if if we end up turned with our back towards the right claw and the left claw is still alive. But that didn't happen, so I wouldn't say the regen potion was wasted, but we probably didn't have to use it that turn. Here though, you know, it's giving us some value, so we're quite happy. And exactly 32 damage to finish the fight. And we see Barricade and Demon Form. Barricade wasn't really a pickup here, simply because we don't have much block for it to work. So Demon Form was a good choice, I would say. Especially if Cascade can run into it, and that's what we were hoping for. And yeah, here we are just decreasing the cost of the cards that we are most likely to play if we see them. So, you know, Mangle was an obvious choice, Headbutt was an obvious choice, especially with the Mangle, and Stomp, I figured, as we've seen before, sometimes we don't have the energy for it. We didn't play enough attacks, so I would rather have some safety in the energy cost, just to make sure that I really can play it. 3 strikes played, no more to come. Mangle comes to rescue. Yeah, that's our block. Shrug It Off doesn't give us cards because we used the Battle Trance, but at that point it didn't really matter. Our discard pile was empty, so Headbutt wouldn't really bring anything back. And then I realized we actually have lethal, so we don't have to worry about it. Upgraded cards were cool, but I'm trying at this point to keep the deck thin. Yeah, in retrospective, transforming Strike was probably not the best idea because we do have Hellraiser, so, and we already struggle with the blocks, so I probably should have transformed block here and saved some extra damage, but it didn't really matter at that point. Also, we got extremely unlucky with the Demon Form. It didn't get picked up by the Cascade, so would have loved to see that, but nothing you can do. Yeah, we get our card back. We have some strength. Didn't really need it, but Stomp for the win. And yeah, anything is lethal here. Setup Strike does its thing. Shrug It Off again for the card draw, although maybe the True Grit could have been used here, but yeah, getting Offering off the Battle Trance, now that's not something you want to see. But it happens. I mean, nothing too crazy. Yeah, Aggression, we have it from the Transform, but it didn't really do much. We're not exactly, one attack type of a build, so usually it will just bring a random attack back into the hand, and sometimes it's a strike, and strike doesn't get played if it comes back from the draw pile directly into your hand. So like you see, right here, strike came into our hand from the draw pile, and that's not exactly the card we wanted to come back. It's nice for the Rampage though. Like if it hits a Rampage, that's incredible. But with the amount of attacks we have, odds are it's not going to pick up Rampage. And as I say that, we actually get Rampage back from the discard by the aggression. So, it sometimes happens. And there we go. We were fishing for the Stomp. We got our Stomp. Yeah, Cascade was played to get something back. I probably should get the Rampage for this. Yeah, Rampage for the stacking of the damage. Demon Form, again, just a dead card. luckily we got Fiend Fire to exhaust some of those cards. We could have used some of them, but I wanted to get rid of the demon form. Like, it was weighing us down quite a bit, so it was well worth overall. Finally, we get Offering and the Battle Trance in the same hand, but at this point I was trying to save my health. There's no really point in using Offering once the fight is pretty much over, and there's no immediate danger, so yeah. Now this elite I was worried about a little bit, because this eye deals quite a lot of damage. Also, with 5 or 6 energy, the Cascade did look very juicy. So yeah, after a bit of a thought, I finally went for it, and we finally, we got our demon form from the Cascade. that felt good. I felt like the demon form finally worked out for us. I mean, we went through pretty much entire floor 3 without using it ever, and we finally get it on an elite where it quite possibly could make quite a bit of a difference, so that was good for us. And here, yeah, Mangle comes back the next turn because this enemy attacks pretty much all the time, I believe. So, yeah, reducing the attack to 0, incredible. Saving some HP since I have Mangle for the next turn, I figured we're good. And here we got Mangle and Headbutt back from the discard pile, so we get to play it again. And at this point, Cascade, I saw Cascade, I knew that we will win. The fight is over, so I don't have to worry about saving the Mangle for the next turn. There was a Whirlwind, which I immediately regretted not picking up because this fight sucks. I was looking at all of these scrolls, thinking how much health I'm going to lose here, which, you know, turned out to be a little bit. It's not too crazy, it's just annoying, you know? Especially when one scroll ends up with 1 health. And that was the scroll that actually dealt damage and took your max health from you, so wasn't ideal, but nothing too bad. And there we go, the fight is over. We got our potion, and Crimson Mantle seemed reasonable. I mean, you lose 1 health, gain 8 block, but it felt slow. It felt slow. Like, the deck is becoming thicker and thicker. Like, we're almost at 25 cards, even though I wanted to keep it lean. So, after a bit of consideration, I figured, you know what, no, we'll get rid of it. Yeah, we got our white stone? Grinding stone. Yeah, grinding stone. And upgraded a couple of attacks. And yeah, here we're in the damage race. We're trying to get this enemy before they get to their big attacks. They're the ones that deal 40 damage to you. And yeah, Cascade was again the choice I made. I don't know, it feels nice playing a, you know, 4 or 5 energy cascades and just watching you play all the different cards that you don't have in your hand. You know, just like this. Like, if I know I have some big cards in the draw pile, I might as well play them, right? Battle Trance wouldn't do much here because our hand is almost full, so we don't want to draw just yet. But since we guaranteed Cascade coming to us, that's what we played. We got some block to help us deal with the burns, and I didn't use Anger. I didn't want many angers in my deck when I have the Cascade. I don't want to play 3 angers with the Cascade, so yeah. Rampage into Headbutt into the Rampage. If you're wondering why I didn't use Mangle, is because this enemy has Artifact, so they would negate our strength removal, and that's not good. And Bludgeon came to save the encounter. We ended it before the enemy attacked us, and we lost a whole bunch more HP. And yeah, here, finally, Pummel Strike, the first one we've seen in this entire run, which was supposed to be like the this almost a centerpiece of our deck. It comes right before the final fight, which is, it's better late than never. But I would love to see it earlier, and that would definitely shape our deck quite a bit. We got Trash, and we'll use it on something. I figured, let's see if we get some draws or something, and yeah, and if we'll get to reuse it somehow. In the end, we just removed a strike. Although I would have been happy with Pummel Strike was the only one I would not be happy with, because Demon Form, again, we got through it. We're probably not going to use it on our own for 3 mana, so yeah. And the reason I didn't use Offering there is because I didn't want to trigger the phase change while on 0 energy. Like, I wanted to have this specific turn right here when I have the energy to deal damage to the actual boss. And luckily, as you've seen there, we got our Demon Form played for us by Cascade, so we didn't exhaust it, and we got to play it, and yeah, now we have our strengths going, and with all the strikes and free attacks and whatnot, we're quite happy to see it. And here, I'm just like, I need either Mangle or my Rampage to start stacking the damage on it. That's really it. Obviously, we need to defend. We want to survive, so that's why I used the skill potion there. And I kept the Beetlejuice, even though it was also a solid option. But I figured the enemy is going to escape next turn, or this turn, so there's not much point in using it right now. Yeah, and we're back into phase 1. Nothing changes for us except we're still scaling the Rampage. We get it back. We use Shrug It Off to defend and get the Rampage back, and attack again. We're sacrificing a little bit of health in order to scale the damage faster and finish the fight faster. The longer I stay here, the more chip damage I take, and yeah, that's the kind of damage that gets us in the end. So yeah, scaling. We got our Rampage, we got our Headbutt, and we got Battle Trance, so we can attack again. But I figured maybe I need to defend after all. That's not the turn where I want to lose most of my HP. We still have a couple of turns to go. And honestly, now looking at the replay here, Thrash was probably a better choice. But, our damage was scaled, so we finished this. So yeah, this turns out to be a Cascade Rampage build. Worked alright. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a good day. See you next time.